We'll also see whether or not the Eagles, who are the most talented team right now in football, I don't think that's a stretch to say that. Defending champions, blew out the Chiefs, which is really the only way to beat the Chiefs. You can't beat the Chiefs by a point. You got to beat them by 20 or more, or they will come back and get you. Can the Eagles get back to the top of the mountain? They're back in the valley of 0-0. And it's unfortunate that they haven't gotten their rings yet, because once you get your rings, you can close the book on the mountain that you just climbed. They're getting the rings on Friday night, July 18. They were supposed to get them on Friday, June 6. So it's right up against the start of training camp. So this is going to be a hard reset as Nick Sirianni, the coach of the Eagles, tries to get the team in the right frame of mind to repeat. But Sirianni says he's not thinking of it as repeat. He's thinking of it as sustained success, because repeat implies that you're looking in the rearview mirror at the thing you've already done. Forget about the thing you've done. Rip off the rearview mirror. That's the Belichick approach. Yesterday does not matter. Tomorrow does not matter. What matters is today. What are we doing today? We're doing everything in our power to lay the foundation to work toward trying to win the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter if we won last year's. It won't matter if we win next year's. All that matters is this year's. That's the sweet spot where you have to get players to be, especially the guys who just climbed to the top of the mountain. That's why I'm a firm believer in adding, when you have a Super Bowl winner, add a guy to the roster who's a veteran who doesn't have a Super Bowl win. Because to the extent that, the other players like him, the other players want to get a ring for him, it's no longer about getting a second ring for me. Hell, I already got a ring. I've already been to the top of the mountain. Oh, we want to win one for our new teammate. Just that mindset can help avoid the complacency that will creep in. I remember reading years ago that Terry Bradshaw used to be horribly depressed after the Steelers would win a Super Bowl, because his attitude was, what do I do now? What do I do? We just climbed that mountain. Try to climb it again? Now, remember, Bradshaw, this was back in the days where beyond 2 in a row, people weren't thinking about legacy. There wasn't this nonstop discussion about where it wasn't until Bradshaw got to 4 and Montana got to 4 that became a thing where Tom Brady's tracking 4. Can he get to 4? Now Tom Brady's at 7. Can Patrick Mahomes catch him? The legacy thing becomes more of an issue, and everyone would love to be the team that wins 3 in a row. The Eagles are forgetting about last year. At least Sirianni is. And it makes sense. Whether it works is a different thing. You got to forget about last year. You got to focus on one game at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 season at a time, and we'll see if they can do it. If they can stay healthy, they should be there at the end. And when you look at the games they played in the postseason, it really was just that Rams game that introduced a little bit of doubt as to whether or not the Eagles would get to the Super Bowl and win it. They were able to handle the Packers game. That could have gone either way, but it was that Rams game where the Rams were driving and they could have won the game. That was the only scare that the Eagles had in the postseason. They're good enough to get back to the postseason, obviously. They're good enough to get back to the Super Bowl. They're good enough to win it again. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.